Hello and welcome to the Matthew Alton Art channel again. This is another video of me doing pencil portraits, but this one's a bit different in that the recent videos I've been doing have been very short poses, 7 to 10 minutes long, and of course you can't get much of a polished portrait done in that sort of time. So I wanted to have a session where I did a couple of longer portraits to see if I could get some polish and a more accurate likeness after all the practice I've had at doing 7 to 10 minute poses recently. I'm using my moleskin sketchbooks. They're quite small pages, and I'm working from a photograph in this case. It's a model who posed for me for photos a good few years ago, to be honest, and rather than doing life drawing from those photos, I just wanted to focus on the head and see if I could get anything like a likeness of the model. You can see that I started at the top of the head again and worked down. I tend to try and get the hairline right and the shape of the forehead, and then you can look at where the facial features line up with that, so vertically and horizontally. The paper's quite rough. I'm using a mechanical pencil, as I most often do with pencil really, with quite a soft lead in it, a 5B I think the lead is in this pencil. And usually in this session, this first portrait here took me about 45 minutes to complete until I was happy with it, and then I moved straight on to do another one on the facing page, as you'll see in a minute. So it's sort of an hour and a half sitting there and doing two portraits, very different to the Scottish life drawing group sessions that I've been having, if you watch those videos, whereas that's 2 hours to do 12 portraits, so a different beast altogether. You can see that the model is looking down and to his left on this one, rather than a full face on. There are things wrong with it, but it's a while since I've spent a while doing a portrait. But overall I end up quite happy with this one and the second one as well. It was really nice to actually have some time to not be rushed as I have been on the recent videos. Just some time to build up gradually the shading and that sort of thing. It wasn't a perfect likeness, this one. The second one was a bit better of a likeness, I think, to the model, but you'd certainly pick them out in a crowd, so it's not too bad. I have gained a lot of confidence in portraits over the 2.5 years that I've been doing this channel, really. I've always said to people I'm not a portrait artist and I'm not very good at getting likeness, but I am getting better and better at that. So the old adage of practice making perfect, it does seem to be working. I wouldn't say they're perfect by a long way, but they are getting better, getting more confident at doing it, I think. And I think confidence is the key with art, really. If you're confident, you tend to produce better work. The brushstrokes or mark making is much more bold and decisive. I perhaps should do some portraits that take, a few hours each to see if I can polish further. But those of you who follow the channel know that I'm not particularly interested in photographic likeness or that sort of thing. I want people to see that it's a drawing. Well, this is the second one that I started straight after the first, which is very unusual. Normally when I've done some art, I'm quite tired from concentrating and I think, oh, I've done it, and put it away for another day sort of thing. But this time I sort of started again tentatively and just carried on. It's a bit weird really, because when I started these two portraits I was going to do some coloured work using gouache and pen. instead of pencil, but I started with a pencil and got carried away because I suppose that's what I'm used to doing recently, pencil portraits. So it just felt natural to carry on with the pencil. But maybe I will do some more portraits over the next few weeks with sort of pen and wash type style and see what they look like, just as something totally different really. So watch this space for those. This one I didn't start with a hairline. I often say that I start with a hairline, and I did on the last drawing, but this time I looked at the angle of the face, the edge of the face really, because I think it was important to get that right. So the bulge for the eyebrow and that sort of thing, and there's a sort of a bulge in the forehead as well, a slight bulge with a shadow, as you'll see as I progress. It's important to get the angle of the eyebrows right on both of these portraits because the head is at an angle. This is a more full-on face-on view of the same model. It of course makes it easier to draw a portrait from a photograph because the model isn't moving. Often in those 7 to 10 minute poses I was talking about with the Scottish Life Drawing Group, the people who pose are the artists, and they're not professional models or anything, and they move, you know, and blink and look in different directions. Not blaming them at all, but it's just, you know, more difficult to get an accurate likeness when the model's moving. That group is really good from the point of view of, you know, it's people posing, and without the people posing, the group wouldn't run, sort of thing, really. You can see that the ear is going on to the page of the previous drawing, but that's the joy of sketchbooks, really. I quite like it when they're all muddled together on one face, really. So you can see that I'm building up the darks now on this. So the light's coming from the right. And overall, I'm quite happy with both of them. It's a nice couple of pages filled in this sketchbook that I've been filling up since last November or somewhere around there. Well, here's the final two sketches. You've seen them as I've been drawing them, really, but it's perhaps nice to see a photograph, a static photograph of them. Overall, quite pleased with them, quite like both of them. I think you can tell that they're the same model. The second one had a slightly better likeness than the first one in my mind, but they both look human, and that's the important thing with portraits. The face is slightly squashed on the first one. It's a bit narrow around the eye area. But, you know, it's good that you can view these things and pick those sorts of things out. Hopefully it means that you won't make the same mistakes when you do the next one. But as I say, quite pleased with both of them, really. Well, thank you for watching the video. Hope you've enjoyed it. Something a bit more finished and a bit more polished than the recent videos that I've been doing. If you did enjoy the video, then give it a thumbs up as usual. And if you're new here and found me by YouTube pushing the video to you, then do consider subscribing. It'd be really great to grow the channel. And I will see you on the next one. Thanks very much, and goodbye.